And one of the Pakistani soldiers or officer, whosoever it was, he said me my code name was Shershaah. Oh Shershaah, you have come. Don't try to come up, otherwise you'll have a tough time. And that was the time they gave us a challenge. And my guys, they went wild. Okay, how dare a Pakistani troop can challenge us?
In 2019, I had created a video talking about Sidharth Malhotra and the trajectory of his career. I had primarily focused on how one has to carve their own path after such a massive launch, especially when you're an outsider, and already don't have films lined up even before your first film has come out. While I think that the actor on this journey has been heavily criticized and ridiculed almost to the point of absolutely discrediting him completely as a performer, he still has been resilient in trying to prove to the masses otherwise. The last few ventures of the actor have been rather forgettable, and in 2021 swoops in the Vikram Batra biopic, and I have to honestly state that through the trailer, it showcases a different Malhotra in front of camera, a more confident, mature and a grounded performer. I wondered after watching the trailer, is this probably the best canvas for Malhotra to prove all the naysayers wrong? Vikram Batra, the pride of our country and nothing less than a national hero, he fought valiantly for the country. His slogan, Dil Mange More, was indicative of the might, bravery and will of our bravest soldiers. The young captain who fought till the very end in the process of capturing point of 4875 in the Kargil war and was known as Shershaah, the enemies even being knowledgeable of the soldiers' fearless ways, the journey of Vikram Batra is truly inspirational, and in the midst of many patriotic films being produced, this film, especially through its trailer and treatment, stands out, and there are various reasons for it. Do tell me in the comments below why you think the trailer of Shershaah has had such a resonating impact with audiences. Bhuj, the Pride of India versus Shershaah. The film is being directed by Vishnu Vardhan, a director that has primarily been a part of Tamil projects and especially garnered massive commercial success in the mid-2000s. There is an exponential difference that I see when I notice the treatment of the bravery of our soldiers and chapter from India's history when I compare the Bhuj trailer to the recently released Shershaah one. The minutiae that exists of the commercial elements such as song and dance, something that was clearly evident in the Bhuj trailer, it actually takes away from the gravity of the historical event that it covers. This is something that Uri steered away from, and it is one of the main reasons for its success. Every 20 seconds of the Bhuj trailer that range from introducing the characters, killing leopards in slow motion, or characters delivering dialogues like they're reciting a poem, it honestly left nothing to the imagination of the viewer when they actually sign up to watch the film. Shershaah showcases the right balance where the viewer is privy to what the core focus of the film will be. Vikram Batra and his monumental role in the Kargil war. Even though the dialogue bazi of soldiers as they go one versus one with militants or opposing forces is something that has become a constant in war films, its repetitive nature is also getting quite predictable. I think one of the standout parts of the trailer is also the integration of real life footage, which actually brings about a realistic element to the story rather than the actors playing the historical figures or politicians. The romantic storyline is something that I will defend very soon, but one of the main reasons why audiences genuinely like the trailer of Shershaah is because it doesn't resort to the khichdi that comes with assimilating the commercial tropes of Hindi cinema, but actually comes across as a film that will be an out-and-out war-based film. Pet peeves. Before I go on to ramble as if I'm doing a paid promotion of how much I enjoyed this trailer and how it undoubtedly is better than the Bhuj trailer, I still want to point out some of the consistent tropes that we see in patriotic or war films that the audience is getting tired of, and just some of the jarring elements of the trailer. First of all, the portrayal of Pakistani officials, army men, or even anything remotely related to the individuals on the other side of the border is one tone. They speak to each other by constantly referring to one another as Janab, and Mir Sarwar has probably now done a PhD in portraying foreign characters who are always a part of a rogue group that is causing havoc in India. I mean, look at everything from Family Man, State of Siege, Kesari, and even Special Ops. His characters always have that one evil tone and has his sight on India to cause mayhem. I wonder whether he's tired of doing the same roles again and again. A lot of people in the comments were talking about the unnecessary nature of the romantic angle in the film, but the more you read about Vikram Batra and his personal life, especially his romance with Dimple Chima, you would realize how it is an essential part of his life. Hence, the portrayal of it in the film becomes more paramount. However, one thing is true that a lot of viewers got uncomfortable with, and that was Kiara Advani's attempt at the Punjabi accent and dialect. It is again this perceived idea of how Punjabis sound like. There is an emphasis on consonants so much so that it doesn't come across as natural but just a Hindi-speaking actor trying to deliver Punjabi dialogues. defending the romantic angle. The romance that commenced from Punjab University between Vikram Batra and Dimple Cheema is something that can be a story from one of those classic romantic novels. The anecdotes that you hear from Dimple Cheema about the several experiences they have had together for the 4 years that they were together, you actually get an insight about the soldier beyond his bravery and courage in the battlefield. Described as extremely filmy and someone who was always on the go, Vikram Batra had promised marriage to Dimple Cheema in full filmy fashion. What sadly did not come into fruition as we lost the brave soldier in combat, Dimple Cheema still reminisces about the beautiful memories that they had together.
It was a kind of a ritual with us to visit Mansa Devi temple and Gurdwara Sri Nada Sahib. On one such visit to the Gurdwara, while doing a parikrama of the Nishan Sahib, he was walking behind me. On completing the parikrama, he suddenly said, "Congratulations, Mrs. Batra." I swirled around to see him holding one end of my dupatta. He gave me a very beautiful smile and said, "Didn't you realize this is the 4th time that we are doing this parikrama?" Needless to say, it left me totally speechless. So that was the level of dedication and commitment he had towards our relationship.
See, unless the film takes a completely left turn to suddenly transition into item songs and some whack-ass tangents, something that I actually don't foreshadow, this film and the romantic subplot is essential to tell us Vikram Batra's story. It's not like we're seeing a historical film on the bravery of Indian men and women and there's a song titled Zalima Coca-Cola, right? I mean, that would be absurd. Oh shit. Technical aspects. What I think really stood out for audiences was that the film visually also looked exceptional, as there is a beautiful combination of real life and practical on-the-ground combat sequences and a blend of extremely convincing special effects. I think one of the most jarring qualities of the Butch trailer was that the CGI looked extremely lackluster, almost in several instances coming across as comical. The combination of practical shots and VFX utilized in some of the explosions and warfare really give it a realistic and rustic feel, essential for any film based on armed conflict. Sidharth Malhotra. The most polarizing debate has to be the capability of Sidharth Malhotra as an actor. The audience is split, one believing that he is limited in his range and others believing that he always gets the short end of the stick, even when his films have been enjoyable. I lie somewhere in the middle regarding Siddharth, the actor. I agree that when you look at films like Ek Villain that requires an intensity and range, he reaches a point with his conviction to the role, but doesn't really soar to immortalize the same. But when you look at films like Bar Bar Dekho, A Gentleman and even Ittifaq, movies that were enjoyable and intense respectively, he hasn't really been showered with praise and quite on the contrary, has been ignored by media houses that covered those films. I genuinely saw him in a different light when I saw the Shershaah trailer, and it won't be far-fetched to believe that this film may be career-altering for the man. See, I still believe that Vicky Kaushal and Uri has no match. That man and his performance was something that just can't be replicated. But like we were surprised with Ayushmann Khurrana's performance in Article 15 when he consciously moved away from his formulaic social comedies, I think we can still be hopeful that Siddharth may surprise us with Shershaah. I genuinely have high expectations for the film, and you do tell me in the comments below why you like the trailer and why do you think it got such a positive response from both media houses as well as regular fans. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.